Hi everyone. In this video we're going to go over how to analyze your website's performance and go over some tips for you to action yourself to make sure that your website is loading as fast as possible and is as easy to use for the user as well on the front end. So no matter what purpose your website serves, you're always going to need to analyze how your website is performing, whether it's the functionality is e-commerce or if it's a food or blog recipe or some kind of portfolio website, it doesn't matter. Website analysis is crucial. This would have been a very difficult task for a website owner, but analytics have improved as increasingly more people have been using the internet. As a result, analytics has become a lot more easier to understand, and there are lots more tutorials out there as well that people can follow to make sure that their website is performing in the most optimum way. So analyzing your website's performance is something every website owner should be doing throughout the year. The metrics that are important to your website success can be reviewed during a website analysis. You can come up with plans after that to improve your site, and a website can always be improved upon. Web analytics give you a systematic way to identify weaknesses in your site, and most are free and easy to understand as well. So there are a lot of different metrics you could go over as a website owner when you're analyzing its performance. However, sometimes it's best to focus on the ones that matter most. The following performance metrics that should always be analyzed are website speed performance metrics, content complexity, user behavior, and acquisition. So here's what they all mean. When it comes to performance metrics, website speed performance is essentially concerns how long it takes for your site to load. So for example, time to a title is how long it takes your title to load and show up on a browser's tab. This is really important because if it's too slow, you will lose users who are not keen on waiting for anything to load. Time to interact is how long it takes for the page to load to the point that the user is able to interact with it. And this is also really important as you don't want your audience to become impatient as they're waiting on something to load. It can also appear that your web page is frozen and they're likely to move on, click on something else, click on another site. Connection time is the time it takes to establish a connection between the user's browser and the website server. Again, another really important metric to understand and also be able to fix if there's any issues. Another thing then is content metrics. So content complexity consists of metrics such as overall weight, overall asset count. The overall weight is the total sum of bytes and users receives. Overall asset count is the sum total of your assets your website has, like image counts, things like that. Content level metrics are essentially for analyzing your on-page SEO. So for example, content readability greatly impacts how well your content performs in SERPs. Other on-page metrics like keyword density, metadata optimization should also be tracked and analyzed, and there are lots of free tools that you can use to do this for you. Behavior metrics is another one. So user behavior is composed of metrics such as bounce rate and error rate. So your bounce rate is how many users come to your site and then never come back. Your website's error rate is the average amount of problem requests in comparison to the total requests. So other important metrics include average time on the page, exit rates, and these are all really good indicators of how well your site actually serves your users' needs. This impacts your CRO and your SEO. Lastly then is the user acquisition metrics. So these center around the number of times users have requested to load a single page. The top one among them is the number of page views. This is the result of a user clicking on a link that directs them to the page on your site. It doesn't have to be a unique page views, which means that if a user refreshes the same page, it will count as two separate page views. A session is a log of each user's activity. It is a log of every user's activities on your site. Each session is reset after 30 minutes of inactivity, but you can customize this according to the nature of your site. These website performance metrics provide really valuable insight and shouldn't really be overlooked when you're analyzing your website's performance and things like that. No matter how intimidating or dull analyzing your website performance might be, it's always worth your time. So website analytics are very little use if you don't know how to act on the results, and it's really important to have a roadmap in place to boost each of these metrics and increase the profitability of your site. One of the strategies that you can implement is getting the right content volume for your industry. Generally, blog articles perform the best in terms of SEO and UX when they are between 1,500 and 3,000 words. But this varies from industry to industry. When you create content, it's always best to base your word counts on data. So this is showing sort of word count versus average traffic. So this allows you to maximize your content value and keywords. It's really important that you focus on writing informative content that your readers will value and be interested in instead of content that you think will get a lot of traffic. Ironically, websites that write for search engines don't rank well and usually have a high number of bounces. You want high traffic, but it's meaningless if the users only visit your website once. It's more important to have a loyal following. This then signals to SERPs that your site is valuable, and will mean that you'll rank higher in search results. Another thing is to build quality internal and external links. So links that are described well and properly inserted into the text will help increase your search engine optimization, as opposed to ones that are sort of haphazardly entered in or slapped on the bottom of a page. Increasingly, domain authority is one of SEO's most important ranking factors. So to make the most of this, it's important to seek out backlinks from high authority sites, for instance through guest posting and things like that. You also want to focus on user experience over complex designs. So never get too fancy with your site's text and design that you publish content that a user might strain their eyes to read or find it very difficult to read. Many website owners that have made this basic mistake, and it's enough to strip all credibility and authority from a website. Your content should be broken up into easy to read paragraphs with the help of subheadings, bullet points, and images, icons, things like that. Every website owner has their unique way of breaking content up into a reader-friendly manner. You can even use like one-line paragraphs to kind of break up the text. You can use headings, you can use videos, different things to kind of break up long paragraphs basically. The point is to break up long content so the reader will stay on the page longer and actually take the time to read, and they'll be able to read the information a lot easier as well. A website full of long paragraphs and no headings scares a lot of viewers away. You also want to make sure you use an intuitive UI and a navigation. So many people make the mistake of over-customizing the web pages and providing too many options for the users. This makes the website hard to navigate and will often frustrate users as well, having the opposite of the intended effect. So it never hurts to put yourself in the user's shoes and view your website from their perspective. You don't want too much of a nav bar that's cluttered with links. You want to be able to break that up and only have the most important links there, and have some important call to actions like a search functionality or even like a call to action to button as well. You want to make sure that everything is as easy for the user to use as much as possible. So those are just some of the tips to think about when you are designing your website, when you're analyzing your website. It's also important to know there's loads of free web analytics tools that you can use that are easy to use, set up, and understand straight away. And a lot of business owners can do more than enough with these free tools. One of them being Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is a free web analytics service offered by Google. It's a really powerful tool, and it will provide you with all the website traffic and analytics that you need. These site analytics are presented through simple charts and reports that can be clearly read by yourself, by your marketing team, whoever it is that you're wanting to help with you on your website analytics. And they have reports as well that can show you the efficiency of your various advertising campaigns and web campaigns, things like that. When it comes to analyzing your website with Google Analytics, some important relevant analytics that they provide would be something like their website visitor section, so which is a section here, and this section deals with all the statistics relevant to the users viewing your site. It gives you lots of valuable content regarding the demographics of your user, the time spent on your site, and the following unique stats. So it shows absolute unique visitors, and this is tracked by each user's IP address, so they can be considered as an accurate number of unique users. And then you have something called the bounce rate, and this is the number of users who viewed your site, but their stay was not long enough to count as a visit. So if this number is high, then it's wise to reformat your content. You should aim for your content to be as interesting as possible to attract more viewers and to keep them on your site for longer. Then you have the web traffic sources section, which is another important section of web traffic analytics, and it's revolved around the sources of your traffic. So it comes to relevant stats. So you've got something called direct traffic. So this is the number of users who have reached your website directly by entering the URL. Then you have referral sites. So this counts the number of users that reached your website through another linking website. Then you have search engine. So viewers that reach your website through a search engine. To improve the statistics, there's lots of other search engine optimization strategies as well. And then you've got keywords. So this shows you the most popular keywords that users have used to find your site. This can provide you with valuable insight regarding your content, as this can be seen in lots of content strategy guides and things like that. The next section then is the content section. So we're dealing with the formatting of your website. This is a measure of the engagement of your content as well as your most popular pages. This allows you to further optimize your content to suit your viewers in order to increase traffic. So one software that's really good for that is Matomo. Matomo is another free software that allows you to track your web traffic analytics. However, unlike other solutions, it needs to be downloaded and hosted on your own server. So the setup can be a little bit difficult, but it's especially popular because of its powerful mobile app and the provided unlimited storage for various kinds of reports. It allows for complete customization, so you can create your own statistics to track. Some of the use stats to track include segmentation, so visitors, views, bounce, demographics, sources like search engine, referrals, direct, things like that. And then you have content, so the time spent, most popular pages, keywords, things like that. You can customize all these reports to suit your needs. Furthermore, you can create various accounts to give access to your specific reports, which allow you to involve your marketing team in optimizing your website as well. So when it comes to pricing, Matomo have a free version. They also have a free trial that you can try the premium version as well, and their starting price starts from $9 a month. You can see on their pricing page there are different offers for their pricing for their free version and their cloud version. So instead of having it hosted on your own servers, you can host it on their servers on the cloud. Which might be a little bit easier. They have lots of add-ons as well that you can add to your plan, and this will show you what's included in all of the plans. There's a lot that you can get with even just the free version, or you can try the premium for free and see how you feel about that. But it's a really good tool to use, and a really good pricing as well for all of them for what you get. So those were some good tools to analyze your website traffic sources, and user behavior on your website in general. But when it comes to analyzing your website, you can also analyze it for performance, as mentioned before, and SEO. When it comes to analyzing your site for performance, a really good website is GTmetrix. GTmetrix is a website speed check tool, and it allows you to see how fast your website loads. Website speed is more important now more than ever because people tend to have shorter attention spans, and you want people to be kept on your site for a lot longer. So GTmetrix gives you a glimpse of what's slowing down your WordPress site with suggestions on what to do to improve your WordPress performance and speed. It also comes as a plugin form, so you can then plug into your site and constantly monitor your site for performance as well. So to install the GTmetrix plugin on your WordPress website, what you want to do is go into plugins and click add new, and you want to look for the GTmetrix plugin. And you're looking for GTmetrix for WordPress by the GTmetrix team, and you just want to click install. And then click activate. You can see the GTmetrix tab being added to the menu now, and if you click into it, the last thing you need to do is set up the API keys. So you will need to register for a GTmetrix account, and then when you get that account, you will be given an email as well. You can create a free account to get the API keys, and this free account will come with a limited number of requests per day. However, if you're using this one on one website, then you'll likely to never run out of credits anyway. So all you need to do is click on register for a GTmetrix account now and sign up for an account. And after creating your account, you need to click on account link at the top of the page, just at the top here. And then you want to click on generate an API key. And once you're done, you want to click on copy. And then just type in all the information to connect your account and you're back on your WordPress website, and then just click save changes. And you can see the account being set up now. And once you're done, you just want to click save changes and save everything onto your account. And now when you go onto the app menu, what you can do is you can click on test URL now to run any performance test on your website. You can also do custom tests as well. So you'll need to put in the username, and then you can test your URL. Ideally, you want to focus on locations closest to your target audience. So when it comes to choosing the location as well, if you are based in Australia, you want to pick one of the Australian servers and things like that. However, if you don't want to add another plugin to your website, it's also totally fine to just use the GTmetrix website, create an account, and then just simply analyze any website you can from the website, from the GTmetrix website, instead of from the dashboard. So you have the option for both. You just want to type in the username, and you want to type in, and then it'll start analyzing URL and start testing it for different things as well. And then once it's analyzed, it'll give you a score, a performance score, and it'll also give you a list of issues that you might have. So GTmetrix offers a complete breakdown of performance of your page that you're testing, and it uses Google PageSpeed and Slow performance tests to score your page load, and then will show an overall score as a results summary. So anything below A means there's room for improvements. But this doesn't necessarily mean that your website is terribly slow. To understand your score, you need to click on the detailed report, just down at the bottom, and it opens up URL on the page speed side. So this report will give you a breakdown of your page speed score, why slow score, and a list of recommendations on what you can adjust to improve your page speed. And it's divided into different tabs. So you have the summary, you've got performance, structure, waterfall, video, and history. The best part is when it comes to the summary, and it asks you to change anything. If you click into the toggle, it'll show you the exact details on what you can be improved. So if one of the issues that comes up is that you have large images that need to be compressed, you can click into the toggle and it'll show you exactly what images it is that's throwing up the issues. Each tab has a little learn how to improve this button, and that'll give you details on what can be improved and exactly how it affects your performance, what triggers that audit, and how to avoid those audits as well. If you have a GTmetrix account set up, what you can do is you can set up alerts, you can monitor certain accounts, and you can set up different page settings as well. If you wanted to test from a different server, you can test URLs in different server as well. And what you can do is you can also retest and compare as well. This allows you to manage your tests and run tests as you work, so to kind of improve your website speed and performance. So when it comes to improving your website performance, the GT page speed will show you a ton of information, and you want to compare your results to alternate website speed checking tools like is a WP website speed test or a Pingdom. And if your website is still showing low scores, then you can go through the details and improve each and every one of them as an item. And this can be a little bit technical for a beginner, but as you grow and test your website a bit more, it'll become easier. Other things you can do to improve your website performance. One thing would be to use the best WordPress hosting. So if you're using low quality WordPress hosting provider, then there's not much you can do to improve the performance of your website. Some really good fast web hosting companies you can try are Bluehost. So Bluehost is a really good WordPress hosting provider. They're actually an official WordPress hosting provider. They have great pricing, and it comes with built-in caching as well. If you go on their website, you can see a lot of their plans, plan pricing, and things like that. Then you have SiteGround, which is another premium WordPress hosting and includes built-in caching, and it also uses Google Cloud. A lot of really popular WordPress website will use SiteGround for their website hosting as well. And if you go on their website, you can see a lot about their hosting, their WordPress hosting plans, and any WooCommerce hosting plans. And finally, WP Engine. It's a top-rated managed WordPress hosting provider as well, with lots of performance optimization, and they focus solely on WordPress websites, so you know you're in professional hands when you're hosting your website with them, and they can guarantee sort of top speed as well to help with your performance times. We have other videos as well comparing different hosting providers in depth if you want to check out our YouTube channel for more, but these would be sort of like the top 3 web hosting for WordPress websites specifically to help with your load times. Next thing you want to do is set up a WordPress caching plugin if you don't already have one. So all top WordPress hosting companies now offer built-in caching solutions that you can turn on to improve your website speed, but you can also use a WordPress caching plugin to improve your website performance. Caching allows your website to load a page from a temporary file instead of running a new request, and using caching plugins can really help with the page speed in that sense. WP Rocket is a really good one to kind of enable a WordPress caching plugin. It is paid, however some free ones like Lightspeed Cache, W3 Total Cache also help a lot with your performance as well. The most common performance issue that we see on lots of websites is images. So images that are too big for the website, they take too long to load, images that are uncompressed, all of them add to your load times, and fixing them can make such a big difference. Images take more time to load than text, and if a page has lots of images, then it slows down your website. On the other hand, images are important for user engagement, so you can't really avoid them. The solution is to optimize your images for faster page load, and you'll still use the same images, but with smaller file sizes. There's a lot more you can do to make your website load even faster, but images would be a top one if you haven't already sorted that. Some top image optimization plugins are things like Smush. So Smush is free. They do have a premium version, but you can do a lot with the free version. They will optimize your images with lossless compression, meaning that you won't lose any quality once the image is being compressed. The images will be optimized upon upload as well, so you don't have to worry about uploading them as well. Some other image optimization plugins are Insanity as well, which is a good one for especially for high, much larger images, as opposed to ones from Smush. And lots of other features that you have that you can get with Smush and Insanity as well. Another way to make sure that your images are not going to use up a lot of load time is to compress them before they get added. So using websites like TinyPNG or Photoshop, and using them to compress your images before adding them to the site will make a huge difference as well. So that was all of the performance tools. There's a lot more out there, but especially for beginners, it's a good one to kind of start with. The other performance metrics the other metrics that you need to do is also check your SEO. So we talked a little bit about SEO readability earlier, but these are some free tools that you can use to check your site's on-page SEO, and then make a list essentially of what you can do to improve it, because all of these also will help edit your site as well. So one of the site SEO tools is SEObility, which is a free SEO checker, and essentially they will run analytics on your site, run audits on your site, and then it will essentially give you a list of all the basic SEO that you might be missing, that you might have, and that you can improve upon. So what you want to do is go into SEObility and go into the SEO checker, and you just want to type in the URL of the page that you want to test. So similar to something like GTmetrix, they will essentially run a report on your site and give you a report of all the list of SEO improvements. You also get a score as well, so you can see overall what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. But they'll check things like your title, but also the quality of the title, so length. So they'll check if they have one, but they'll also check, is the length okay, is it of good quality, and things like that. They'll check your meta descriptions, they'll check all your links as well, and they'll essentially just go through this, and you can make a link, or you can make a list of essentially what you need to fix. If there's anything wrong with your heading structure, anything wrong with your link structure. It will also analyze the alt tags on your page, on your images as well. So an image alt tag is essentially a bit of text that you can accompany with the image, and if your image were to suddenly not load, instead of showing a broken image, it will show a description of the image instead as the alt tag. It's also popular with screen readers, so anyone who's using a screen reader to come onto your site, the screen reader will then use the alt text to describe the image to the user who might be visually impaired or things like that. And you can essentially go through this list and see what you're missing, and any major issues you can fix on your website. And it's a really good way to kind of get even just the basic SEO fixes out of the way as well. So in summation, analyzing your website's performance and then improving upon it can be made easy through the use of tools specifically designed for website analysis. If you have a high bounce rate, then you know your website's content or website is failing in some major way. Looking at how user-friendly your site is, your optimization of keywords, and the quality of content will point you in the right direction of where improvements need to be made. And then understanding your website performance metrics will help immensely in knowing where changes should be made in the first place. For more tips and more videos on how to analyze your performance and how to use performance testing tools as well, please check out some of the other videos on our channel. Thanks.